So with Joker for they do Madness for two, or like a dancing madness, what I noticed too is that with the first Joker, everything that Joker is imagining in the first movie always falls apart. You know, he imagines being on the Murphy show, and that falls apart. Doesn't turn out the way it's expected. Uh, the way he's represented by his mom to be happy doesn't turn out the way it's expected. Falls apart. The way the neighbor turns out doesn't go the way as expected. Falls apart. Everything falls apart. And then in this movie, it's the same kind of story. Even the way he grew up in the first movie is represented again because the way his father beat him up, or stepdad beat him up, he tries to rebuild that relationship with the main prison guard. It's subtly there, but he's trying to rebuild that relationship, recapture that. They're asking for jokes, they're asking for something from him, and he's trying to do that. He's trying to at least be that person. Doesn't look the happiest doing it, but he's there doing it. You know, hey, they say Joker's a good kisser. He complies, but that tells you already what comes later when we get to the scene where he's abused and you know that sexual assault may have did occur. But when he spoke up in court too, that already tells you that a lot of things aren't taken seriously in real life and in the courtroom. So when he yells in the courtroom saying, "I'm free," he realizes there when he's actually free to say what he wants, it doesn't mean he's free to be believed by any part of society, by any part of the system, by, well, obviously, but not by the prison guards either. So it doesn't matter whether he's free. And that's what he recognizes when he comes to do his closing statement after being abused and assaulted. Then he's told again by the judge, even who he who he actually thought, okay, well, maybe I can just say what I want. Just grabs the stool, not doing anything out declarative that seems like, out of the ordinary. Just grabs the stool, walks on over, and then the judge tells him don't do anything out of character. Gives him this pre-request, and he sits down and stares at the camera because I feel the emotion of that. Like, I can't do anything right. I can't do nothing with the face paint on with this Arthur Fleck. Doesn't matter. As Joker, as Arthur Fleck, nothing. There's no representation that will do this. No compromise whatsoever. So once he looks about, looks at the camera, he sees not only that the prison guards watching this, he also sees that everybody's watching this, and everyone's going to judge it the same way because now the judge has already told him this. The judge has already judged him. So he has no original character. He has no source of himself anymore. And that's why he breaks down. There's nothing left of him anymore. There's no Joker, there's no Arthur, there's no nothing. So there's not even anything to feel defeated or given up about. So by the end of the movie, he's there's nothing to kill anymore. I literally, it's just that's all that's left. And I saw so much reflection on like the first movie being so much of Martin Scorsese. With this movie, I saw the musical scenes, almost a representation of what Kenneth Anger was, which Kenneth Anger died past year in 2023. So I saw a lot of the musical cues representing the characters. Lady Gaga, Lee, Joker, the way they sang, what songs they picked, very specific about who they are. Joker's songs were all about love and wanting to give that love. And Joker's and Lee's songs were all about wanting power. That's it, wanting to build a mountain. Mountain isn't for both of them. Mountain is for power. And then what I saw from the the other side of that too, there was a scene later on where he's running away from after the bomb hits the courtroom, where he runs away from everybody. There's a bucket of blood, Roger Corman film, on one of the signs of the cinemas that he runs by, and I realized Roger Corman. That's a great influence on this film because Walter from that movie is such an influence on who Arthur is in this film, but also how Roger Corman does films to a certain extent. The reality, not necessarily the dialogue, but there's so much in it that is very abrupt and very like pull away, like okay, halting, because the reality of things does halt a lot. And by the end, he realizes that he's laughing at the irony of that joke that's told to him before he's killed. And he actually is just laughing about it because he realizes he's not a jokester anymore. He's not going to be that anymore. He's going to be something else, whatever that is. But he can't even be that. He can't even be something else now. He can't. He's got to only be known as Arthur or Joker or dead.